Welcome to the Goon Squad's First 40. I'm Puma along with Black Thor and Ice Water. It is April Fools, April 1st. How you doing, Ice Water?
I don't know, man. Somebody trying to play a joke. I think Black Thor and them germs over here need to keep that stuff in Connecticut, bro. I ain't got time for that. I got things to do.
Yeah, Connecticut and New York seem to be hot spots. How you doing, Black Thor?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Yeah, New York is definitely a hot spot, man. Very hot spot. It's crazy in New York right now.
All right, man. Let's get this going to entertain the peoples while we're here for 40 minutes. The impact of the NFL 17 game and playoff expansion, Black. What do you think about that, bro?
I'm amazed, man. For the past several years, NFL players complain they don't want to play 17, 18 games, and then they voted in, and then quietly basically expand the playoffs, which I think is kind of watered down the playoffs, if you ask me, in a sense. I didn't see where they say how it's going to happen, but I know there's been a couple of teams, and the Giants did it, made it with a 7-9 record, went to the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
for the most part, you look at those teams with low records, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, man. I think it's going to kind of water down. Of course, it's more money for NFL, and the players are looking at, I guess, when they voted yes, that's what they saw. But I just find it strange, man. It's like the NFL just has some type of voodoo over the players. They say what they want, the players run, they complain, and then about 2 or 3 years they give it to them. So it's like I don't understand that part of
it. You got Debo got mind control over him. All right, so what do you think about this? The impact on the NFL, the players, the folks who work for the NFL, all this stuff. 17 games, and they expand the playoffs to 14 games, which one team out of the different conferences get to bye. I think that's going to be a big problem.
You are getting sleepy. I mean, it's sad because we talk about this all the time, and then we always hear from the other end that the players say, oh, no, we're going to stand up. We're going to fight for solidarity. We're going to stand as one. And each time that we see it, it's something that's totally different from that standpoint of it just does not work for them, and they finally get duped. That's what everybody's talked about. They get duped. So I think that when they signed initially on the dotted line, they kind of knew what they were getting into. Again, it came down to, as I mentioned, about the guys who were not receiving all of the big money. Guy making $500,000, that guy making $1 million, and then you could recruit that, get double his money within the next year. A lot of people went for their money, but the 17 games, it doesn't surprise me, and then the extending the playoffs, it doesn't surprise me, because the one thing everybody's been has complaining about, we need to put this in perspective, is about the preseason, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to watch preseason, and they say it's too long. So now I'm not sure if they will, but if they cut preseason down, and even in the training camps down, because the NFL still was getting their money, because the fans still pay the same price that they do for preseason games than they do for when they do as likewise for regular season games. So the NFL is like, whatever. We just gonna move some things around. You didn't see that last magic trick though, did you? I'm glad you didn't. But that's how they do it. I mean, they literally do it, and they have the Jeremiah trick down, and they keep buying into it. So when you sign on a piece of paper and you sign on the dotted line, how can you be mad at the results?
I thought they were eliminating at least one preseason.
Yeah, I think it's one. Yeah, one preseason game. Yeah.
But then they picked up what? Another game and some more playoffs?
Yeah, and then I think they're going to be eating up on the practices.
Okay, but look, they're still getting what they want.
Yeah.
You making you feel good. You still like, well, you don't get a whooping, but I'm not going to get you to the end. Okay, that's good. I can play till.
Pay now, pay later. Anyway, Eric Reed was like, hold up a minute. He's trying to push to invalidate the CBA agreement. And there's two questions with this. Will he be successful with this, or will they just push him out to the side like, hey, you're part of that Kaepernick fiasco, we're not even going to listen to you? Or does he get a groundswell from the players saying, hey, wait a minute, something's wrong here?
Okay, I'm going to say this, and this is just part of my opinion. I'm going to try to be nice about this.
Oh, don't be nice.
But I'm trying to be nice.
Get nasty with it.
Right, but then I want people to think about this logically, okay? Think about it from this standpoint. Eric Reed was with Kaepernick, had some situations. He hung with him. They didn't kick him out to let him still play. Now he's out of the league. Then all of a sudden, he looks into some language when he's no longer in the league now, right? As of this moment, where there's some language that there's a problem with the agreement. Granted, I don't doubt what he says is true. I'll try to look at it a little bit more, and maybe he's true. But do you think they're going to sit back and stop and redo and take a new vote based on a paragraph or two or something that he found? Hell no. Nah. Are you kidding me? They got that joint passed, bruh. They got it passed. And now the other stuff is coming out showing you the real true colors of what really happened from the standpoint that the vote only passed by 60 votes. 60 votes. About between 500 and 600 NFL players did not vote. They didn't vote. They did not vote. And you're crying? I don't want to hear it. All you had to do is turn your little laptop on and quit tweeting and do what you got to do for your money. Are you kidding me? Eric Reid, I feel for him. And I mean, whatever you got to do, more power to him. Run the gamut, do what you need to do. If that's what you feel is right. I don't see it, bro. You got duped again, and he just kind of frustrated because he's not back in the league. Go on and let Kaepernick get you a job at Nike. But whatever, man. It comes down to the point they got duped, and I don't see them changing it. Not from the standpoint of starting all over.
Okay. Black, what's your thoughts on this, man?
Let me just say this, man. I love what we do here because we always bring information out that
other people aren't talking about.
Man. And Ice just dropped some stuff, man, that I didn't even know, and I'm happy to hear it. It's just a little too late, man. I think if he'd have found this while the voting was going on and kind of got the vote delayed, I see his point. But like, if what's going on now, and people didn't even vote, it's crazy. They're not gonna take time out because the majority has spoken and they want this. NFL is gonna move. They're gonna move on. They're gonna move forward. As you've seen, NFL just steamrolls and keeps moving, babe. You look at the virus and all this stuff. They're like, what virus? We're gonna have draft. We're gonna play in September.
Regular season.
Everybody's trying. No, how can you do it? We're doing it. We're doing it. They're doing whatever it takes to basically stay on the chart and keep moving. So this is not even gonna be a bump in the road, man. I mean, realistically, if they bring it to a judge, they're gonna look at the vote. The majority of people voted this in. But to just highlight what I said, how do you not basically, out of spite, basically not vote on this? Either way, good or bad, you don't do anything. It's amazing, man. I remember we came up, man. It was always a slogan out there, dumb jock. And sometimes these NFL players live up to it, bro. In some form or fashion, they live up to that slogan, a dumb jock. Even if you're not going to vote for yourself, you got to vote for the people that's coming behind you, the other players that are coming into the league to make it better because people came before you and made it better for you. How do you not basically vote just for other players that playing a little league now that's coming to the league? That's crazy.
Yeah, what I'm noticing is that, it is basketball season right now with the NBA, but the NFL is dominating the news cycle. The NBA tries to put it in there, and it's your season. They try to put it in. They can't do it. Baseball can't do it. The NFL is just stubborn enough to just put out stories over and over and over again, and we just eat it up.
I'm going to tell you something right now, man. I don't know about, you two. I don't think people care right now if the NBA come back anymore this season.
I don't
think people care. I really don't think folks care right now. They're doing themselves a disservice. Talking about they might play here, they might play on a cruise ship. Until you're ready to play, don't even talk about it. So I really do. I think they did themselves a disservice by suspending. They should have just said we're postponing until we can get clarity on what's going on. They left the table. People have found other things to do. And when the warmer it gets and you start cooking out, nobody sitting inside and watching that bad basketball for 3 hours, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening. Trust me. This season is done. Kaput.
You get fined in the NBA for doing that. But the other story is China. They're trying to proceed and getting their basketball league going. What I hear, Ice, is that they're going to have a centralized location outside of the city where they're going to have 10 teams in one section, another 10 teams in another section, make sure everybody is free from the coronavirus and start their league again. I heard Safari Marbury on TV talking about how they're going to do it, things of that sort, and that the NBA is looking closely to see if they can kind of replicate this. What do you think about China's kind of effort to try to get back in and bring some athletics back into the world?
I think China basketball is like NFL football in America. China basketball, like, look, We about to get this money. We about to get back to the thing. Plus, too, they had the virus first. So they they're ahead of us. They know what's going on. So maybe they're ahead from that standpoint. But I know I saw where players like O.J. Mayo was trying to make his way over there to try to get some of that money. And they had him quarantined for 14 days.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, had him in quarantine for 14 days. But like, I don't care. I want to play. But maybe they're leading the way, and maybe they had to do that. But they're taking a chance. Maybe they say they have a handle on it. But if not, they're doing it. I mean, it's sad you might be risking people's lives, but those are choices that we make. Those are major choices that we make. Like NFL. NFL says, sure, we can't have anybody hanging around. The players won't be there or like that, but we're going to do it virtually. You're not stopping us. You got to look at the end. We will tell you the day before the season's not going to start. Kind of like NCAA basketball. They're going to have their draft. They're going to have everything. But that's what you have to do until the very end. Then you can adjust accordingly.
Okay, Black, I mean, the Premier Soccer League overseas, they're talking about doing the same thing. China is saying, hey, we're getting ready to put our basketball league back in. We're going to separate these players from the audience. We're about to make that cash. And I'm thinking any league that kind of steps up and does this, and then they're able to put it on TV, is just going to dominate because people are just starving for sports right now.
I said this 3 or 4 weeks ago, bro. The NBA made a big mistake in doing that and coming out and acting like they're getting in front of it. They forced NCAA. NCAA was going to play March Madness. March Madness was coming, bro. But when NBA decided to pull the plug, they couldn't send players out there, non-professionals, not getting played, out there to play. And that's what forced them, because they was ready to play. Here again, when you basically made it clear you're just going to play without people coming in, you should have stayed with that structure, maybe waited a few weeks, and started finding some remote locations where you can play because there's parts of the country where the virus is not even there. It's not even there. There's parts of the country that's not even there yet. You could be playing basketball there on television. Now you got the NBA saying that maybe not going to play our players, huh? Now they want to pull their money because TV is saying, you know what, we ain't paying you. Y'all ain't playing. NBA's like, well, we're going to pull our NBA players' cap. They're not pay them. They made a huge mistake, and I don't think they can dig themselves out. And like you said, the first sport that can get back on and play live has the whole arena to themselves. And it's just like I equated to the first state that decided to make marijuana legal. I think it was Colorado. Once Colorado said, we're going to be bold enough to do it, everyone else said, you know what, we're going to jump in and do it. And that's how it's going to have to me. That's how the marble is going to basically start to fall. It's going to take one to say, you know what, we're going forward, we're going to do it. But at the end of the day, I think the NFL, here's another point too. I saw where baseball is trying to wait till 4th of July. That's a little bit too late, bro. It's just a little bit too late. 4th of July came out, it's a holiday. Okay, it's a little bit too late. You wait till 4th of July. Baseball need to find a way to come out a little quicker too. I mean, I know we're not talking about them, but they need to find quick, because baseball should be getting ready to kick off right now. They need to find a way. I hate to say this, in America sometimes you can't be pretty and nice. Business has nothing to do with emotions. It's all about the dollar. You got to find a way to get your product in front of people, because if baseball fool around and football kind of comes shortly behind them, no one's going to be watching baseball, bro. No one is going to be watching baseball.
I'm a Major League Baseball guy. What do you think about what I just said, man?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, they can't wait too long. Truthfully, though, and I know people won't want to hear that I love baseball, 162 games. But if they shorten the season and you made, let's say you had a 50-game season or 45-game season, and then the playoffs. Dude, I mean, there's too much money involved that I know that's crazy. I would love that. Do you remember when the NBA had that shortened season and when the playoffs? It was some of the best basketball you've ever seen, because you had to go get it. There was no in between. There was no love. You had no room for lulls or trying to get up to speed. You had to bring it. I would love to see something like that where it's a shortened season and then they go right into those playoffs. Then you got to go get it. We're seeing the best, and people are not, excuse my language, half-ass playing and taking breaks and coming in and playing full strength because they know what's at stake in such a short time period.
Black, I'm going to try to ask this question as serious as possible without laughing. Okay, give me a moment. How's James Dolan?
He must be. Him and Charles Oakley were supposed to do an on-phone mediation, I think, yesterday, and it got postponed or pushed back. So maybe he's not doing that well. The fans up here love the fact that he's ill, man.
That's what I say. I'm not gonna laugh at somebody.
I know they kind of chimed in and they love the fact, but no word has come out. But like I said, they pushed that back, which says to me that he wasn't well enough to basically do a mediation, which I don't understand. Why you gotta have two grown men on one phone and mediation, something that's going on between those two. You know, those two cats need to go to a Starbucks, you know, get whatever they got to drink, pour something in the cup and work it out. You're grown men, man. Stop this nonsense. But I don't think he's doing that well. I just don't think he's doing that well. I'll say that.
When I got the news, Ice, about James Dolan, I always try to remember what my grandmother used to say about laughing at folks in misfortune. So I'm not going to laugh. But I did have some thoughts about it. But any thoughts you had about this? You don't have to share them. Yeah.
I just wish the man well.
Okay.
But I'll just say this, that perhaps he got that foreign virus. Anyway, it's a joke though. Sorry, Lord. Anyway.
All right. The NCAA, they're giving extra eligibility, Ice, to players who play in spring sports. And I'm thinking it's not going to affect folks that play basketball and football and all the other stuff. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, the spring sports are coming up, and then they're closer because they haven't started. But the other ones with basketball, it was just kind of different. That season's gone, and they're just kind of chalking it up, unfortunately, to that. Later on down the line, I think it should be okay. But we don't. It's a wait and see thing, man. I mean, you can speculate and talk about it, but we don't know until they really break it down and see where we're at. And again, we talked about this, about the virus situation. I think they just wanted people to say, yo, man, hold the hell up. Whoever has it, this is going to happen. We're just trying to limit this and cut it down. And everybody just need to chill. And maybe that was a panic reaction or whatever, but they for the most part, unless you come to Columbus, Ohio, when they still was trying to run full court basketball.
Yeah.
And people waiting on next, you know what I'm saying? Unless you on different places around the country. I think they're just trying to get people to chill out. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but it's wait and see. So I don't know about you, but I'm taking it one day at a time, bro.
Yeah. Like I was thinking that NCAA are doing this because they took a big hit with not putting on March Madness and with the advertisers and all the money from the arenas and all that other stuff. And maybe they're trying to save face and trying to look good with the feds in future cases by offering extra eligibility. What are your thoughts about this?
Oh, man, trust me, we haven't talked about it in a little while, but there's so much going on that's coming in the backdoor for the NCAA. So anything they can do to make themselves look like they're being flexible, they're helping out, they're part of the cause, they're going to do. And that's good PR in their moves. I think that's what it comes down to. They're finally trying to do some of the right things, but when this is all said and done, they still got to deal with there's a lot of lawsuits out there. They're getting them to pay their players, and that's not going away. So it's nice that they're being a little genuine. I think they went after the quarterback in Clemson at first. He was trying to raise money. They shut him down, told him he couldn't do it, and then they came back and told him, yes, you can do it. So they're being concerned now, really concerned about their image and what they're putting out there. So to me, this kind of just plays right into it.
All right. A basketball legend passes away last week after our show, Curly Neal. I remember watching the Harlem Globetrotters as a kid. Loved watching the antics. Watching them, I always forgot about the game and just watching some of the antics with Meadowlark Lemon, but Curly Neal. And the reason why he got his name, I found this out doing some research, Ice, is that he shaved his head bald. And I have a bald head. He shaved his head bald, but everybody on his team said he looked like Curly from the Three Stooges. Your thoughts on Curly Neal?
This is bizarre. Anyway, amazing ambassador. What can you say about the Harlem Globetrotters in general? They broke through all kind of molds. I mean, they broke through all kind of issues. People love watching them entertain. And he was one of the great ones, along with Meadowlark Lemon, Geesa Osby, guys like that too. But then too, when you think about it, and I had a chance to meet this gentleman in person and then talk to him a little bit afterwards before his passing, where Curly Neal ended up becoming the ultimate ball handler. So he's the guy that spun around and slid and spun the ball around and stuff like that too. But he was the guy that replaced Marcus Haynes. Marcus Haynes was the original magician with the Harlem Magicians, and then of course had done some great things in college basketball. But Marcus Haynes was one of the greatest of all time. And then after he left, the organization, Curly Neal took over. It just shows you the generations of great basketball players. And I don't think a lot of them, particularly Curly Neal, got their just due until he died. Yeah. When you really look back at what was going on in the world when they first came in, you look at them having their own cartoon TV show. You know, they crossed all kind of lines, man, in regards to being humanitarians. And despite what was going on in the world, they made everybody smile, made a lot of kids happy. And still to this day, that organization is still doing that.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, Black, the Wide World of Sports on ABC, and they would say, hey, we're showing the Harlem Globetrotters. And that was must-see TV for us.
Oh, yeah, you got to watch it, man.
Your thoughts?
I'm amazed today, man. I'm kudos to everything I said, and I can't really add much more to it than that. But I'm amazed that technically, man, how he just did what he did. Mm-hmm. You watch the stuff that he did on the floor. Sometimes you stop and try to figure out, you know, how did that happen? I know I saw it, you know, but the timing, the creativity, how did he pull that off? I mean, Harlem Globetrotters spirit, how did they do some of the things they did and still doing to this day are truly amazing. The way they entertained, you know, where they basically brought you joy, laughter, the way they made you feel. And like you said, when they were coming on, if you knew they was coming on, you got ready. You got prepared, you were there. And you like you said earlier, you forgot that it was an actual game, whether it was going on. You didn't care. No one paid attention to the score. I mean, him and Meadowlark Lemon, come on. Those two together was just something else, man. So, yeah, Curly Neal. Rest in peace, bro.
Yeah, it was must-see TV, and they always brought a smile onto your face. And they were truly ambassadors, the Harlem Globetrotters, all over the world. People who love these guys, and rest in peace, rest in peace. Questions from the Goons. Ice, you have a question this week?
Yeah, my question is, out of all of the sports that are not going on at this point, what sport or one or two sports you think are really going to be damaged the most financially by not coming back soon?
Wow. Black, what sport do you think is going to be hurting?
I'll put NBA up there first, man. I think it's going to be tough for them to really get out there. And I think what's going to happen, if they decide to play, I'm not sure if this commission is going to allow them to play. But I think when they come back, the layoff is going to hurt their game so drastically. It's going to take them a while to get their legs going, the speed of the game, and get out there and be coordinated. And it's going to look awful, probably when they come back. The presentation is not going to be there. So I think the NBA is going to suffer. No fault of their own. I mean, I think they're going to handle it differently, but I think they're going to really have a hard time really jumping back on and getting things going. And I'm going to say this, it's a little strange for me to say this, and they haven't, had a chance to kind of do much, but I think the WNBA, man, is going to suffer drastically. Mm. I think they were starting to get some momentum, some buzz, some stuff started happening. They just got a new contract, all this stuff. And it's like now they don't even exist. Nobody's talking about them. Maya Moore, what she did to get more attention to anything that's going on with them, there's no talk, there's nothing. So I think, if they're able to have a season, and they come out, I mean, what's going to be there?
Yeah, I think I was going with the WNBA because the NBA, those guys get paid. They'll be fine. They'll come back. It doesn't matter. But the WNBA, this was their season right here. When the NBA season is about to wind down, the WNBA season usually kicks up. And I think that there won't be a lot of groundswell of them getting them back on TV, and unless, the NBA kind of jumps in and kind of just pulls some strings. But it won't be like this cry out that we got to have some sports. We'll accept the WNBA. I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to look for baseball, and they're going to look for the NBA. And it's sad, but I think that's going to be the sport that hurts the most out of this virus in this season.
I want to piggyback on that something real quick about the WNBA, man. And it always bothers me. And I'm a man, and this bothers me. But if I was a commissioner of WNBA, I'll have these ladies sign a contract. You got to stop doing this half news stuff for ESPN. You got to stop this. You can't be out here trying to do one thing at the same time trying to be a sex pot. Either going to play basketball or you're going to be on Playboy magazine. You got to choose, bro. You really do. Because if, as a woman, you got to just basically stand for something. You're trying to get young girls to pay attention to you. Stop taking your clothes off for ESPN. I'm sorry. They're playing you. Just my opinion.
Okay. Ice, your thoughts. Who's going to get hurt?
Yeah, I guess I'm reading you guys' mind. I thought WNBA as well, from the standpoint of when they come back or try to come back, you got to think about the other leagues are first. Just how it is because they're the major ones. And then my question would be, if they have to push back, when do they play?
Mm,
When do they play? Summertime was their time.
yeah.
There's the no circuses are going on, a lot of stuff, the empty arenas. So they were perfect to fill the slots instead of having dark arenas. Now, when do they play? Do you push them back into the fall? Because when the fall starts, it's all bets are off. Because now that's the reason why they started the league the way that they did, and then they had it during the summertime. I remember watching women's basketball back in the day when there was a group called the ABL, American Basketball League. They played during the regular time, during the fall, and they had like only 16, but those teams were so loaded every night. We had a franchise here in Columbus, Ohio. Every night it was packed. Now I would watch that every night because it means some cuts for some other women. You don't want to take money from them, but that was real true basketball. But again, the question comes down to if they keep getting pushed back, when do they play? Do they go into the fall, or do they just scrap this season, considering knowing that they had that great contract and a lot of opportunities were coming up for them? WNBA, be careful. You thought the NFL is pretty bad. The NBA is they're right behind them, right behind them, watching.
All right, Black, what's your question?
Interesting that Deshaun Watson has put out a couple of cryptic tweets, I guess, since they traded his receiver away to Minnesota. I'm sorry, the Cardinals. And I remember the cat from the Ravens was assistant coach there for a while, defensive cornerback coach. Ed, can't think of his name. I can see it, but I can't think of his name. But he came out and said some things afterwards that it seemed like that team had I'm paraphrasing, but he led me to think that had like a plantation type of thing going on down there.
Mm.
So my thing is this, man. I'm wondering why these cats that have guaranteed money, these brothers, why they're afraid to stand up and say what's going on and kind of doing this cryptic BS stuff. I don't get this, bro. If this cat's kind of running like a slave mentality down there, why are they basically, even once they didn't want to talk about certain things going on there, why are they kind of afraid of him in a sense? I don't understand this.
All right.
Yeah, I think that they often feel that they might have a rep or something to the effect that they may not be able to play. And that's the mentality that the NFL wants them to have, where they might become more or less ostracized or get a bad mark. I mean, that again, the Kaepernick thing was that's what it was about. So you stay in your place, men or boys. And if you don't, this is what can happen to you. But in that regard, I remember a former Buckeye, Ohio State Buckeye, DeVere Posey, was in Houston, and he recently said some things that he thought it was more like a slave mentality. Even though he didn't have a long NFL career, that's where he started. And part of that, they came back to him and said, "Oh, well, you only played a few games. What are you talking about? You don't know what it's about." But when your starting quarterback comes back out and says something to the effect that I'm just waiting to find a way to retreat or get the hell out of here, it says something. Because if this coach was all of that and he was on the right path, wouldn't some of the players come up and say, hey, DeAndre was kind of out of control. We got your back. You haven't heard that. And DeAndre Hopkins tried to be a noble man as possible. He might have some issues going on. He got more than one baby's mama. Who the damn cares? If he's at practice, he has not been in trouble. And he's probably one of the best receivers in the league, especially when his quarterback was hurt. And you give him the business, it won't be long. It won't be long. I believe that O'Brien will have to find somewhere else to go. Maybe you can take him back in New England because you keep doing stuff like that. That was a major blunder. Major.
I mean, the NFL has a slave plantation mentality since forever. And if you didn't see that with the Colin Kaepernick situation, I mean, it's in plain sight. When you refer to the owners of the team as the owners, and then you have the players, basically the players just take that word just takes the place of, to me, slaves. Because you do what we want, you do what we want, you do what we tell you to do, and you get paid what we think you should get paid. The NFL should be way and far beyond as far as the players getting paid for what they do to their bodies, getting paid more than NBA players and baseball players. Why don't they? Because it's this slave mentality. And the NFL We said it earlier. It's one of the most popular sports because when all these sports were getting wiped out from the virus, the NFL reigns king. You can say what you want about baseball, love baseball, but baseball's not making any noise right now. Basketball, not making any noise right now. It's the NFL, and they know it. And so they can be the most popular. They could be the sport that garnishes the most views worldwide, but it's a slave mentality, slave plantation mentality. And the players that step up, Black, and voice their opinion about that, they get wiped away, just like Colin Kaepernick. They get pushed to the side. You know, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. This is how we're running this show. So I think that's why the players don't say, a lot of the players who make a lot of money don't say that, because you are allowed, the reason why you get that money is because you're allowed to make that money. And at any time they can take it from you.
Well, I mean, I agree with that to an extent, but we said this when Colin Kaepernick was going through his thing with the NFL, and we spoke of, at least I spoke of Cam Newton, bro, you need to come out and say something. And if more of them was in unity and done something or say things and do things and speak of, a lot of this would probably change. So but I'm just amazed where if you have me guaranteed, if I'm guaranteed to make 40 million, I speak up or not, you still got to pay me that. So if you wipe me out of the league, I'm taking my 40 million, I'm gone. But at some point, for Houston Texans players and NFL players, you got to be a man, bro. You got to be a man. I mean, I just don't understand. What happens to your manhood? Because there's no way you're going to keep pissing in my face and I'm just going to act like it tastes good. It's not, I can't. Now, I understand if I have no guarantee, then sometimes you got to kind of deal with stuff. But when your money's guaranteed, what are you afraid of? But you look at the next coward and you just fall right behind. But it is what it is, man. It just amazed me. Even Ed Reed, that's his name. He chose his words wisely, and I understand he was trying to probably move on and get another job. But come on, man, that need to be blown up like tomorrow. Blown up. They should be talking to any microphone that will find them. Every player this year on the Texas should be talking about.
Yeah. My question is about Javion Clowney. Now, he was asking for some big dollars in free agency. Now it's reduced down. He's asking for 17.5. Ice, what are your thoughts about Javion Clowney? And I'll give you my thoughts after you two give me yours.
Well, I think the reality is been shown to him that he was injured last year for a little bit with Seattle. He came back strong. Actually supposed to have surgery, but then he said he didn't want to have surgery because he wanted to play in the playoffs. And he played, he probably could have done a lot better. But yeah, I think he's kind of more injury prone, and people are not going to pay that money, which is going to make really a great bargain and a deal for somebody, which means that more likely he probably end up, the Titans are interested. And I know Seattle wants him back. They already told him as such. So we'll see how that plays out. But when you're not healthy and they can come in and point to things, x-rays and whatnot, then you're out there, and unfortunately you are at their beck and call. You have to just do what they say because you want that money.
Black?
He ain't go low enough, bro. I mean, realistically, he didn't go low enough. I saw 17, 18, I was like, where were you? Because you've probably been there from the start. He's probably, my prediction, he's going to end up down to about 10 or 11 million, bro. I just think so. I mean, I like Javion Clowney. Don't get me wrong. I do like him, but he has never come around to be what he should be. And it's not all about injuries. I think he basically, his first year in NFL, he took off. He just kind of took plays off in Houston. And now you have to show what you're worth, and you're hurt, so you can't. Now you got to really kind of prove it to people. His name should be one of the dominating names in the league when it comes down to defense. He's been around long enough. You played on the same team with J.J. Watt, who was getting double and triple team. What were you doing, bro?
Wow.
What were you doing? You should have been eating. You should have been eating, and you weren't. So realistically, I know it's the injuries, but your productivity doesn't even call for you to get paid that type of cash, bro. It just doesn't. So I don't know what he's thinking in his head, but 18 mil, he's not getting that. He'd be lucky to get 10, 11 million. Lucky to get that.
Yeah, when I saw this cat come out of South Carolina, man, I thought he was like the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. I remember the hit where he hit a guy so hard, knocked the ball down, picked the ball up like a loaf of bread on a turnover. And I had never seen anything like that before in my life. But he just hasn't proven himself in the NFL. And maybe it's due to injury. Maybe it's due to work ethic. I don't know. But for him to come out, I think he was trying to ask for like 25 a year at one particular point. And now he went down to minus 8 million of that and 17.5. And I just don't, coming out of a season with only 3 sacks, you just can't demand that much money until you prove yourself. And I think Seattle is a place where he could actually prove himself, to work himself up to that amount of money. But time is of the essence. He's been hurt a lot. And until he proves himself, I don't think he's going to even see that amount of money over a matter of time in the NFL span of life of a defensive lineman. Ice, you got another question?
I'm gonna defer to you, brother. I know you always ready.
I'm gonna defer to Black.
Hey man, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I just think I look around and I haven't been paying close attention, but I do scan from time to time, and I'm amazed that people are getting paid big money, sports producers, and the best you can do is go talk about Michael Jordan, bring up Larry Bird and all this old stuff, and bring up stuff. Seriously, this is the time to me as a producer in sports, you got to prove your worth, bro. You got to find pockets of stuff to talk about. A 30 on 30 about Michael Jordan, nobody cares. Nobody cares. We all know what Michael Jordan is. We all know what he did. So to come on now and try to sell to him, he's just great. I was listening last night to Spain on radio, and she said a lot of people don't like his Hall of Fame speech. You know why? Because it was egotistical. But he was trying to show you what drove him. No, we know who Michael Jordan is. Don't come back and try to brainwash us. But the point is now, because LeBron is not playing, you have nothing to talk about. So my opinion is, are we really seeing that sports producers aren't worth what they're earning?
Ice?
Well, I can see where it's come out, even if you're not going to be that creative. My issue, though, is you mentioned about all these tapes, all these old tapes. They're not using the tapes properly. I'm going to make you salivate. I'm going to show you every damn thing I got. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to back it. You like, all right, UNLV. I wonder if they're any good. Were they better than Jordan's team? UNLV won the national championship. Football, the whole 9, old Super Bowls. I'm showing you the whole 9 in shorter versions. I got UFC. There's so many different things that you can go off of on. Man, please. I'm keeping you up all night. It's like NCAA basketball. You will not turn the channel. That's my surprise why they're not being able to use all of the resources properly.
Well, I was able to preview some of the stuff that they're going to show on the 30 for 30, The Last Dance. And there's some stuff that I didn't know about. I know Chicago will be, if you want to keep Chicagoans at home, show that special, and you'll keep Chicago.
Nobody in New York will watch it, bro.
Yeah, I know. Nobody in New York will watch it. If I was still in New York, I wouldn't watch it either.
I know Ohio either.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Nobody in California watching.
Yeah.
Craig Elo won't watch that.
Definitely not. He's gonna be in a few of them scenes. But maybe they'll show us something that we didn't know. I don't know. But here's what I want to say about sports. What we're finding out about sports is that it's not essential. We love sports, we watch sports, we enjoy sports, but it's not a priority in life. And there's bigger things in sports. And that's what I've learned over time. We do the sports show. We have a lot of fun doing it. We get entertained by it. But is it a necessity? And right now, it's kind of proven that it's not a necessity. So you see the sports programs and the stations really trying to scramble to do something, and they're at a loss because they had the LeBrons, they had all this different material they can go to, and it made them lazy. You and I were communication majors in college, and you had to go out and get the stories. You had to go out and you had to, really kind of scoop things to make sure that people got something new. And you just don't see that in sports. Like, we got a minute left. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say this, man. You took it. You took my thunder. They're lazy. They're lazy, and it's being shown. They've been lazy. They've been riding LeBron for the past 17 years, not looking at nothing else. Now he's not around. They don't know what to do. And now I'll leave it on that, man. They are definitely lost.
I can't believe that. No sports. What the hell am I going to do? I'm going to have an asthma attack.